Our 13th element of group belongs to period number is not, and this particular is 108. Oh god, how can I remind all the periodic table? Their periods, its classification on their groups as well as periods and block. I'm so much confused. Oh god, please help me out. There's any kind of method should be there in which we can directly know that that particular element belongs to this period, this group, and this block. But oh god, I have no such things I could clear it out. But wait, I have 3D studies. Let's go and talk to the ma'am and let's discuss it. What can be the solution of this particular problem or this step of the periodic table? Hello ma'am, beside your student, and I'm so confused behind reminding of the elements and their periodic names. I'm talking about periods, groups, and your blocks. It's like a lot of stress on my mind. I'm so confused for reminding that all. Is your problem? No worries when I'm here. What I'm gonna begin it today, similar thing, what all of your problems are. Knowing the element number, but not able to clarify that particular element belongs to which group, which period, and which block, it's something very difficult for all of us. But what's more, if I tell you, secret for doing so. So are you guys ready? Before starting, welcome everyone to your favorite YouTube channel 3D Studies, and this side Aadya. And today, you know what, it's gonna be your class 11th periodic classification, and the topic goes as methods for or predicting methods for predicting periods, groups, and blocks. So are you guys ready? So let's begin it. First of all, there are few steps in which we will be knowing how to predict the particular element's period, group, as well as your none more than block. So let's start it. What are the steps? And the step number 1 goes as here. First of all, if you know the number of the element, or in the examination you have got a number of any kind of element from 1 to 118, you know how to write the electronic configuration. If you don't know, go on my first lecture and watch it out how to write electronic configuration of the number in a very fast way. You know what? Just behind writing the electronic configuration on the behalf of your noble guess, that would help you more out. But let's begin it writing the electronic configuration of the element. So the first step is write down. Okay, now the first step is write down the electronic configuration. Electronic configuration of elements. And after writing the electronic configuration, everything is clear. You would say, I want the thing that could help me to tell it that everything is crystal clear. So hence, after writing down the electronic configuration of any element, what is the requirement for predicting of your periods? You is required to know the highest value. What is the important? The highest value of n. That is your principal quantum number. Gonna give you the number of period which that particular element belongs to. Clear? Talking about your third point, that is somewhat interesting. Here we are going to predict the block. And how block? What is the requirement? You are required to list out that orbital subcell which accept or receive the last or final electron, or your n plus l shells. So what I just said, remember these 3 points: writing on the electronic configuration, then knowing on the highest value of n, which is going to give you the number of periods, and for block we are required to know orbital subshell which accept or receive the last electron. How to apply these all points in the question of knowing the period, blocks and elements, we will be discussing on having the questions. Before that, if you got which particular element belongs to which group, you are required to know which group that particular element belongs. So how to find the groups? For that, here's point is 3.1 for your, okay, it's your 3.1 point for your S block, then 3.2 for your D block, T block, and not the least but here is your F block. And you know what? All the groups is decided on the basis of blocks. If you know the block, you would clarify these all 4 points and you would get that that particular element belongs to which of the following groups. So here's for valence block. If you got to know that particular element belongs to S block, what is the requirement? How to get the group? For getting the group, you are required to write down the valence cell electron. And you would directly know that particular element belongs to which group. Talking about your D block, what is you're gonna get is for D block we are gonna add ns electrons plus your n-1 d subshell electrons. For your P block, you're gonna add 10 electrons to your valence or outermost shell electrons. Talking about your F block, now here F block is somewhat interesting. Why? Because here says that your classification is like lanthanoids and your actinoids, right? So the class for knowing the period, you will directly know that particular element belongs to which group from the F block element. How? Let's see it. Lanthanoid is from Z equals to 58 to 71, and here's actinoids are from 90 to 103. So remember these two, the atomic numbers for your lanthanoids and actinoids, and after knowing the atomic numbers for both, you are required to know that lanthanoids carries your period number 6 and your group number 3. Period number 6 and group number 3. Talking of your actinoid, period number 7 and group number your 3. They both belongs to same kind of group, and here it start with period number 6 your lanthanoid and period number 7 your actinoids. Clear? I hope these all points are crystal clear to everyone. Again, I wanted to repeat it because if you are keeping these points in your mind, you would clearly open it कि क्या period किस element का किस group का किस block का होने वाला है, right? So again, what's the point? Writing on the electronic configuration, then knowing on the principal quantum number values, that is your n, gonna give you the period. After knowing the period, you would directly know F block the element with which particular group it belongs to. Talking about your, when you are knowing the period, you would able to clarify which block it belongs to after knowing the orbital subshell that receives the last electron. And what these lines mean, when we will be doing the examples, we will be clarifying it. For S block, all the valence shell electron gonna give you group. For G block, ns and your n-1d. For P block, 10 plus valence or outermost shell electron, and for F we just discussed. Hopefully clear to every one of you. So let's discuss the examples for your methods of predicting valence, I can say periods, groups, as well as your blocks. Now here says, let's take an example. So example, you can write in the comment below, and yes, here I'm going to take it random example. That could be your, like any kind of example, that is, let's take 11. So what, I'm going to write the electronic configuration as I told you how to write it. Remember SSP, SPF, DPS, DPS, FDPS, FDPS. Right? If you have watched my first lecture, you would be clear about how to write the electronic configuration of any kind of element. So let's begin it. Z is equals to 11. Electronic configuration, which I'm going to represent it by EC. For 11, it's 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, which is 10, and again S with 3s1. So that is the electronic configuration for your 11, that is your nitrogen. Talking about your period, block, and group. Which period does particular element belong, which group, and which block. So for period, I just told you, look at which is the highest value of n here occur. That is your no more than 3. So the particular 11th element belongs to your period number 3. Talking about your block, yes, we are gonna look last electron किस particular element किस particular block में fill up हुआ है. And here you can clearly see last electron is filled in the s block element. So thus this particular, the element belongs to your s block element. Talking about your group, on having the points for your s block, I just told you you're required to write the valence shell electrons. And here for s it's your 1. So this belongs to group number 1. You would say, oh my god, it was this much easy and I haven't realized at all. So don't worry, it's really easy. Talking about your example number B, it was your A. So for B, we can take again, so let's take a long value. It could be your, let's talk about 108. You would say it's a huge value, but don't worry. I hope this is clear. So let's talk about your Z is equals to 108. So let's first of all, what is the requirement? I'm happy to see that you are started writing the electronic configuration for 108 by the method of SSB, SPS, DP, okay, it's DPS, DPS, FDPS and so on. Writing on starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, it's 5 and 6. P start with your 2, 3, 4, 5, and yes, your D start with your 3, 4, 5, and your F start with 4. Now let's fill out the particular electrons in this particular electronic configuration of 108. So 2, 2, 6, here's 10, 2, 6, 2, here's 20. So that's all is 20 filled in. We are required to have 108. Let's fill it down. 10, 6, 2, 10, 6, 2. Am I clear? Yes, clear. That's your 18 and 18. Again, we get it 20 and 18 gonna give you 36. Okay? Hopefully clear. Now let's fill it out 14 plus your how much? Here's is your 14 and then 10. What we get it? 4 and 1, 1, 2. So adding on all this is not would be the sufficient. We are required one more series. Let's write it. SSP, SSP, SPS, DPS, DPS, FD, TS. Again, gonna fill it with 6 and yes, 7, 6, and here's gonna fill it with 7, 6 and 2. Okay. So what we are going to have it. I hope it would go more ahead on writing it with FDPS and FDPS and again FD. And here's gonna fill with 5 and D with here's 5, 1, 6 and filling would be done at F is equals to 14 and here's what come weight. So you can clearly see 2, 2, 6 and here's gone 20 and here's 36 and till here we get it as 16 and yes 24 till here we get it 24. Adding on this we get 6, 10, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 80 we get it, right? Now adding in 8, 14, 50, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. What do you get? 8, 9, 10. We get 102 and how much is left? Only 6. So here in D block you would be filling your 6. And yes, your filling of electronic configuration has been done for your 108 element. When you keep on practice, you would be able to do it fast, right? Now what here's I'm gonna do it knowing the period, knowing the block and knowing your group. So you can clearly see what is how we can find it how we can find it the period. For knowing the period, we are required to see highest value of n. And you would say highest value of n is 6. Not at all. Who are commenting 7? That's more than enough. So yes, this particular element number 108 belongs to your period number 7. Talking about your block. Now block decides your highest value of n. Not at all. Block decides your the particular element or electron is filled, the last electron is filled in which particular block. That is your D block. So yes, this belongs to your D block. And yes, talking about your group, for G block we did NS shells and n minus 1 D shells. Now for D shells we have 6 electrons, and for NS cell you can clearly see this particular we have 2 electrons. 6, 7 and 8. So this belongs to your, yes, so this particular belongs to your 8th group. I hope this is clear. We have took a very nice example for understanding that particular element belongs to which period, which block and which group. You see, we took a very kind of few minutes for doing that particular for a large element. If you're doing so for 1 to 20 or 1 to 30, it would be more easier than before. I hope this all thing is crystal clear to you and you understand how to predict that particular period group as well as your blocks. So that was your interesting session for today, and I hope from you to share this video to your friends so they can also get benefit. And what is more required is keep on sharing and keep on subscribing if you're new, and do like it, and thank you for watching and stay tuned.